The Insight NBA team is in the arena, bringing you the ultimate play-by-play on who's hot and who's not to help you win your leagues and dominate your mates. You're now hooping with your hosts, Matty G, Skiddy, and Mally for the Insight NBA show.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast. Tonight is the NBA show, and I'm joined by the man himself, the absolute legend, the superstar, Kingy. How are you, mate?
Very good, very good. It's been a very interesting day on social media, I must say. So for some reason, I have no idea why, I'm on a list, onto the list, but it's a list of NBA people to follow on Blue Sky. So on the new Twitter, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And so in the last 4 hours, I've had 1,200 new followers.
Whoa.
And so I'm just working my way through who those people are.
Right. And do they have to know you, or I haven't actually got onto Blue Sky yet. So obviously everyone should go follow you there. Is it at King91?
Yeah, it works the same as Twitter. I think it's just those people that are sick of Elon Musk and whatever setting up an alternative. And so it works exactly the same. And no, they don't have to know me. I think it was just because I was on this list, and the list was shared by Mark Cuban for whatever reason, who has 800,000 followers. And so anyone who saw that just you can click on the list and click follow all. So it just means you follow everyone on the list. So I'm assuming that's what has happened. So I don't know. It's been weird.
Hey, you heard it here first. Adam King, close personal friends with Mark Cuban, and you should go follow him on Blue Sky. But also, Kingy, happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to your family. For those that do partake in Thanksgiving, it'd be their night roughly at the moment. So good on you to all the Yanks out there. And we have another person that actually just wants to say a quick how you going, a quick thank you very much as well, Kingy, and that would be the man himself, Matty G Wizzle.
I got the wrong holiday. I've just come from a Christmas carols.
Wrong one.
Oh, you are kidding.
No, because for me, it's a dark day. The only good thing about Thanksgiving is Black Friday sales in Australia. Let's be honest. It's a day where we don't get any NBA, and Kingy gets 1,300 followers because he's mates with Mark Cuban.
Is that how it is?
What a day. What a time to be alive. How dark is it where you are? Well, what's going on? You're in the team. Oh, you're in the car. Okay, I was going to say you're in the
KFC if you want. I can walk inside to the KFC that I'm pulled into if you want to be honest, and I can make it a hell of a lot brighter.
It's all right.
I'm on the drive home from a Christmas carols night, and I know you boys are on tonight instead of tomorrow morning. So I said to Skiddy, I said, look, I just wanted to say g'day to you boys and chat basketball and say thanks to our good sponsors, the Standard Squeeze, of course. It's Black Friday sales. Look, I tell you to use IFS 15, but they've got so much stuff on discount right now. You might as well just log onto their website and give them a shout out.
Gee, settle down there, mate. You still have to use promo code IFS 15 because it actually stacks our mans at the Standard Squeeze. So if you want a cracking 65% off at the Standard Squeeze, they are offering 50 today. Plus the IFS 15 code, 65% off, whatever you want at the Standard Squeeze. That is day ones right there.
That is huge day ones. And I tell you now, that is some of the cheapest Christmas gift giving you'll get. Black Friday and Cyber Monday is get your shit together, people. Buy your stuff for Christmas now and Standard Squeeze all the way.
I'm heading to the website right now.
Way to play it, Kingy. Way to play it.
Right. Black Friday can get stuffed in my eyes. Though there's too much traffic, and I hate people. So, they're not great. But we can't just sit around here all night. Gee whiz, you go back to driving home, mate. Lovely to see you ahead. Happy Thanksgiving as well, you beautiful bastard. You keep driving home. We have games to crack into because it's NBA Cup action tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So 10 games on our slate. Me and King are going to jump into each of those games. Who we think the ads are. Who is ins and outs. As G Wizzle said, though, we do have to do the quick one if you need to. promo code IFS15, standard squeeze. You can go down, link in the description, and you can go over there. 65% off today. Oh, Kingy, I don't know about you, mate, but I absolutely hated no basketball today. That was driving me insane.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. I was just standing around at work, just bored. I actually had to do work, which of course I do. Of course I do work every day. Yeah, it wasn't fun. I did go to the Black Friday sales and I regret it. Well, I don't regret what I left the sales with, but it was chaotic. It was just it was crazy. I thought, look, I'll go at sort of 3:00, or everyone will be picking their kids up from school, so it won't be too busy. And it was busy. It was
It does not matter. They go in there each and every time. I went into the CBD earlier here in Melbourne, went to Footscray. It took me 45 minutes to get from the CBD to Footscray. That's only crossing the Westgate Bridge. They are an absolute nightmare. Get out of my way. I hate that crap. But that's all right. At least you got your Christmas shopping partially done, Kingy, so that's fantastic.
I just bought new shoes for myself, and it wasn't Christmas. It was just me getting new shoes because they had a sale on at Nike.
And you treat yourself. So that is 100% fine. We love that as well. So hopefully everyone else here in Australia got some good stuff on their Black Friday deals as well. But let's talk some games because I'm already a bit pissy about it. But rest of the schedule, we got 10 games on Friday, 5 Saturday, 10 on Sunday. Back-to-backs wise, who we got? Tomorrow we have Atlanta, Charlotte, Detroit. These are players that we can target. LaMelo Ball is out. Meadsic will have to play starting point guard. Although there is a fair chance he'll only play 5 minutes before it's a blowout, and then they sit everyone. So there's just that. Day after, Utah and Dallas. So they are the teams that we're looking for on back-to-back. Every team has – am I correct in saying that every team has 2 games left this week at least? And does anyone have one? Oh, they do.
No, Houston has one, I believe.
Yep. Warriors, Nuggets, Warriors, Houston, Bucks, Timberwolves, Philly, Suns, and Wizards, and the Spurs. So there you go.
Okay, so quite a few, yeah.
Quite a few. So there are actually teams that we should, that are better to target than others. So if you have any of those guys on the wires, only the one game left, especially with a 6-game week, Kingy, it's pretty vital to make sure that you get the most amount of players in when there's 1 day less of games. Yeah,
absolutely. It was a weird week. It always is Thanksgiving, and then we've got a couple of weird weeks coming up with the in-season tournament finals and things like that as well.
Yes, and we've got games tomorrow. Is it? Yeah, there's still one more game left for most teams, so. We've got a little bit to talk about because these in-season games players are obviously going to be wanting to strive their best for. And let's start. That's where we go to because we can start having a bit of a chat about basketball and we can start talking about a couple of games and we'll preview those for all you beautiful bastards in the chat that we love to talk to. So first of all, King, Charlotte versus New York. I've already said my piece that I think that Meadsic can maybe be a pickup, but this game could be over in the matter of seconds.
It could be. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know whether it's worth getting up to watch this one at 4 in the morning. I do like Charlotte, but I really just like LaMelo. So if he's not playing, then I'm not that motivated. Could be a blowout. Meadsic, though, I mean, as you said, he's got to start and should play good minutes. It's really hard to know where to go because I still think Diabate is a really nice guy that we want to be adding, but he doesn't score at all. So rebounds, blocks, that's about it. Outside of that, I mean, someone's going to score points here, but God knows who it's going to be.
That is the $1 million question right now, Kingy, because who is there? All their best scorers are out besides Brandon Miller. So he's the only one that can basically score and at least score ISO or any type of way. Josh Green doesn't. Solan, no. Taj Gibson didn't even do it in his prime, and he's probably about 15 years past that. They've really got nothing real. So Knicks, what's that line at? 12.5, and I'd almost be taking that pretty comfortably. This could be bloody ugly. The only thing that could beat the Knicks is depending on how much stuffing their mums put in the turkey last night and put them into a food coma and they all can't get up for the game. I think this one's pretty well done and dusted. But, yeah, so I guess you could have a crack on Green or Salon. They are on a back-to-back too. So it is kind of a free hit, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, probably. I guess probably Salou would be the guy. I mean, he's starting. As I said, I think Diabate, Misic.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't go in with high expectations.
Yep. I agree with you there, Kingy. But something that I'm going in high on expectations with, and that is the Cleveland Cavaliers coming up against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. Cup game does have ramifications for the NBA Cup on the line here. With I think both teams are currently Cavs have lost to Atlanta, have lost to Boston, so they have to beat Atlanta because Atlanta beat Boston. So pretty much the winner could be advancing in this one unless Boston pull their finger out and get some high scoring lines. Levert is game time, so he might be returning. Bates, Struess, and Wade still out. Trae Young's game time after his 20 and 22 the other day. Lundy, Zeller still out. What do you like in this one, Kingy?
Not much on the Cavs side. I mean, as long as they've got their main guys there, there's not really a lot of value, I don't think. Karis LeVert, I guess, if he plays, is someone. But really, I think the bigger impact he has is taking volume and value away from Ty Jerome. So but for the Hawks, look, if Trae doesn't play, obviously there's some value to be found, but I think he'll probably play. I'm sure if we look at some sort of stat where he's questionable or probable, he tends to play in those games. So they're pretty healthy at the moment. So I guess DeAndre Hunter, maybe, if you just need some points tomorrow. Okongwu, if he was dropped or available in any of your leagues, he was pretty good in their last game. And they beat the Cavs, didn't they? Like 2 days ago. Yeah.
By 11 points, yep.
So Cavs will probably win this by about 40. The Hawks are a weird team. So, probably Hunter, but there's not a lot here, I don't think.
The Hawks are weird because they've beaten the Cavs and they've beaten the Celtics, and not many other teams can say that that's been the case. So, they are very, very weird. I think I tipped the nod to Cleveland in this game where there's a little bit more going on. I watched that game 2 days ago, Kingy, and I've never seen a bench lineup that just was shooting their asses out, and they had no right to. Kobe Buffkin came into that game shooting 19% from three, and he hit 2 from 2 immediately. And I went, oh, boy, they are on one here. So Hunter definitely, I think you hit the nail on the head as well with the LeVert call. Ty Jerome was the 19th ranked player last week in fantasy basketball. That is without LeVert, so shout out to my boy Horse, who was about to pick up Ty Jerome. I said, hang on, LeVert might be coming back here. This is not the time that we want to be doing this.
Yeah.
The ball in Ty Jerome's hands has been working very, very well. I think that LeVert will decrease, obviously, Craig Porter Jr. out of the lineup, but definitely will take some of the ball responsibilities away from Ty Jerome, thus nullifying him, unless Ty can keep up. What is it? It's like 3.5 steals or something like that he was averaging? Yeah, 3.5 steals per game.
Yeah. Unlikely, let's say that.
Well, we thought that about Dyson Daniels, and have a look about that. Everyone had egg on their faces after that.
Yeah, but Dyson Daniels is the GOAT, so we don't need to.
I could not agree more with you there, Kingy. Hey, Ty Jerome, good value for 6th man of the year, just saying. Let's go along to the newly healthy New Orleans Pelicans, which is something that we love to see, even though they still have 7 players on the injury report, but that's better than what they had. Not McCain. Jesus, it's not French fries. Jamal Cain, he's game time. Hawkins game time. Brendan Ingram game time. Trey Murphy game time. From what I've heard, Hawkins and Cain most likely to play more than Ingram and Murphy. And then Alvarado, Jones, Williamson all out, but we did see the return of DeJounte Murray. And then for the Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant is game time, expected to play. Zach Edey, G.G. Jackson, Vince Williams are all still out. What are you liking here, Kingy?
It's one of those tough ones because with the Pelicans, we know guys like Brandon Boston, have had value, and Alfred Payton has had value, but it's until we know who's playing, it's hard, because if Ingram and Murphy both play, then Brandon Boston maybe plays 18 minutes, Alfred Payton plays 15 minutes, but if they don't play, then both could play 25 or 30 minutes. So it's a tough one. That's who I'd look at. He's probably your Boston and your Payton, and Missy, if he's available. He's been pretty good. He was good in the last game. And for the Grizzlies again, it's if Jar plays, it really just cuts into guys like Scottie Pippen, Marcus Smart. But if Jar doesn't play, then we probably look at adding Pippen and Marcus Smart, because both were very good. So, and it's on a day like this, it's really weird. I just did my pregame show like an hour ago, and the start times tomorrow are really weird. There's one game at midday Eastern, one game at 2:30, one game at 5 o'clock, and then 7:30. So this game, it's the third game of the day, but you're going to have to lock your lineups before the opening game. So there's a decent chance that we may not know who's playing in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th game until after the first game has started, which is going to mean that if your settings that you can only pick up players until the games start, then you're going to have to take some risks.
Yeah, that is an absolute massive call. And yeah, especially when it is that Pelicans team where you can find that juicy value. Oh, God. Alfred Payton shout out to him, 21 assists. What an absolute king after he hadn't played in the league for 3 years. That's unbelievable by him. And you've hit the nail on the head. So, personally, though, I do love the fact that we have all these games and they're uninterrupted. That's fantastic. Big tick there for the NBA. But, here in Australia, early morning for us. Oh, shit.
It's much like, it's exactly like the Christmas Day slate when we have no overlap. We just have 5 games back to back. So it's good from a viewing perspective, but from a fantasy perspective, it's not.
No, you are right. But also, too, there's obviously better games than the New York Knicks absolutely destroying the Charlotte Hornets. So that's the better thing about Christmas. But if there was one player, I'd probably have a crack there. Even if Jar plays, Scottie Pippen does have value. He's shown that he can get enough stats in that time. But obviously, you'd rather Alfred Payton if Ingram and Murphy were to miss. So, that's a tough one. Even Kane too. I mean, if Kane and Hawkins both miss, I'd probably still just have that crack on Payton and just hope for the best. But that's a lot of guard. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Payton probably. I'm going to stick with Payton.
It's I'm
saying Payton. I'm going to say Payton.
All right.
Clippers, Minnesota. Clippers, Minnesota. Norm Powell is game time, so there is a chance that Powell is able to return, which is a huge part for the Clippers, getting that 20 points per game back. Brown, Leonard, Tucker, all out. And then for the Minnesota Timberwolves, our man, our god, one of our OG best players from Australia, Joe Ingles, Slow-Mo Joe, is out, unfortunately. So that's a huge loss for Minnesota. I'm taking the Clippers without Joe Ingles.
Yeah, he's a real difference maker. He's been good for them this year.
One assist, that game winner.
That's right. A key role he's playing. Who we're looking at, again, this is a tricky one because if Powell doesn't play, you can look at, Amir Coffey, Terrence Mann to a lesser degree. But if Powell plays, they have no value. So that makes it hard. And for the Wolves, well, I don't know. They've just been so bad. I picked up Mike Conley last night in a league, so I'm hoping that the Wolves realise that they need him on the floor because without him, they just look like trash. I'm hoping that means Conley might start to play 28 to 30 minutes again, which would make him someone we need to be adding in fantasy. Other than that, though, Jaden McDaniels, he was good for like 2 games or something, and then he went back to sucking. So no need to hold him. DiVincenzo's been bad too. I don't know what's going on there. So It's Minnesota just looked like a
Kingy
dumpster
on
fire.
on our episode. Bloody oath. Yeah, you absolutely have. But yeah, Dante DiVincenzo is the guy where me and Horse just did our Pick My Guys episode, and he was one of our guys that we touched on. So he better pull his goddamn finger out because he's really doing me dirty. So hopefully Dante DiVincenzo can have a good game because his percentages are absolutely horrible. And if he wasn't averaging 1.5 steals, then he'd be absolutely gone from every single team that we have. So that's just how it goes. Orlando, Brooklyn. Geez, I'll tell you what, this was a surprise. How much Brooklyn's injury report just got absolutely towed up after Thanksgiving. They could not give a stuff for this game. Orlando, Banchero and Harris are both out. Brooklyn, Claxton, Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, and Wilson are all game time decision. Bogdanovich out, Clowney out, Martin out, Schroeder out, Sharp out, Cam Thomas out. Now, there's value here. And everyone's going to say, let's get the man. Let's get Tyrese. Let's get Mr. 30 points on the Suns' head. Kingy, are we doing it?
Well, again, it's that same problem. If Wilson doesn't play, if Cam Johnson doesn't play, if Finney-Smith, like if we get two of these four don't play, then maybe. But if they all play, then Tyrese Martin might only play 15 minutes. So it's hard. I think I'd still rather go after like a Zaire Williams. Jalen Wilson, he is one of those questionable players, but he was pretty good leading up to that absence. So I still like him if you want to take a bit of a risk on someone who might not play. Jalen Wilson and Zaire Williams would be the other one I'd be looking at there. And for Orlando, a lot of questions about Goga Bitadze because he's starting, apparently, alongside Wendell Carter, which we didn't see coming. But if he's going to start and play 25 minutes, we just hold him.
Yeah. And that also means that Mo Wagner, because they're doing a three-man power forward center rotation thingamajiggy where, you're still able to hold Mo as well. Yep.
And Jonathan Isaac.
Yes, that is true. So a fair bit going on there in Orlando. So, yes, if you do have Goga, then, you keep holding him. So that's okay there. And then Brooklyn, if you're able to have a shot at that early game, then Tyrese is a crack. Wilson's a crack. Zaire Williams, though, I think is the one Kingy's right there because he can do a little bit of everything, which is something that we love to see. Boston, Chicago. Cornet is game time, but otherwise Boston are healthy. And then for Chicago, it looks like we're getting Lonzo Ball back, which is really nice to see. Kobe White is a game time. Terry is a game time. Sticks is a game time. And Pat Williams is still out injured. It's the Iodasumu with White, Giddy, and Levine I just did not like that against Orlando. I know Io had an okay game, but geez, there wasn't a lot to like if you were a Bulls fan.
No, it was pretty bad. In terms of value, look, we're talking about players here to add. Nothing on Boston. Like they're healthy now, so it's correct. Pritchard, I guess, and Horford are just back end guys, but I'm not really. There's no players here that we want to be adding short term or anything. For the Bulls, they've had a couple of good games, but they've had a lot of bad games. It's and I don't know. This franchise is sort of they're noted for pushing for mediocrity. So like, despite the fact that they're just bad and they shouldn't be trying to make the play in, they will. Which is good for fantasy because it means guys like Vucevic and Kobe White, these guys that could be getting shut down, probably won't be shut down.
Yep.
But there's not. I mean, we know who's who in the zoo here. Maybe Desunu is someone I don't mind. He's very up and down, but as long as he's starting, I'd love to see Buzelis getting more minutes, but it just doesn't seem to be happening at the moment.
No, which is unfortunate. So hopefully he could, because he could get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, which would be nice. But as long as Iodasumu can bring the defensive stats, then that's what we really care about. And also shout out Nikola Vucevic, who is currently the seventh ranked overall player in fantasy basketball this year. So love to see that from a guy that everyone was not in on and couldn't give a bar out, and now he's doing this. So crack on to whoever picked him there. Detroit, Indiana. This actually could be a pretty good game because Indiana have been quite poor. And if Detroit get Cade Cunningham back, which is a possibility, then we could have a bit of a game on our hands. Other than that, if Cade's not back, Detroit are absolutely horrible. They are back to how bad they were last year without Cade Cunningham, or even worse, because he is so necessary and Jaden Ivey cannot run the offense quite yet. So he can do it himself, but he can't run the offense for the others, but that's all right. Tobias Harris is also game time. Bobby Clintman's still out. And then for the Pacers, they still have Nemhard, Neesmith, and Shepherd all out, which is great for our man, Benny Mathurin, who is averaging a double-double at the moment while those guys have been out. So how good's that?
Yeah, he's been very good, actually. I was I don't know if I was down on him, but I was very skeptical because he's flashed throughout his career. He's had a week where he's awesome and then he just vanishes. But this year he's been pretty consistent, which is good. I'd love to see TJ McConnell just getting 22 minutes. He's right there, but he's can't quite get over that hurdle. But I still think he has some back end value. And then for Detroit, I don't know. Asar Thompson's an interesting one. We get lots of questions about him. Whether he's starting or not, he's only playing about 20 minutes at this stage. And so people are getting a little bit annoyed and sort of, do we hold him? What's his upside? And I said on my show previously that if I could hold him, like if you're in a position where you can almost treat him as a stash, I'd love to just hold him until we see what he looks like fully healthy in his proper role, like when he's playing 26 to 28 minutes, when he's played 2 to 3 weeks. Because at the moment, he's only played, 2 games in, I don't even remember when his last game was last year, but
March, I think.
February or March. So he's only played 2 games in 8 months, 7 months. So if you can hold him, if you can stash him, then I absolutely would. But I understand that this could be a 2 to 3, 4 week ramp up. And in that time, you could obviously just stream that spot or get someone else in. So it's a tough call on Thompson, but I'd like to play the waiting game if possible.
I would too. I'm currently in that situation where I'm tossing up him or Naz Reid, and I think I'm just not 100% sure where I'm going to go for, because what I keep coming back to about Asar is how he fits into this new Detroit lineup. Duran can't shoot. Asar can't shoot. Ivy can't shoot very well. Tobias Harris is okay at times. He's been a lot better this season, but he can't always shoot well. They need one of Hardaway or Beasley on the floor to be able to space. Because Asar just doesn't do that. The sacrifice there would have to be either Tobias or Ivy, and I just don't see JB Biggerstaff sacrificing Ivy or Tobias's leadership. So that's where I kind of just go, Asar, I'd like to see it. I know we all know the potential. I just don't know how it comes on this team theoretically.
It's going to be tough. But because they're obviously not going to move Harris out of the starting lineup. Ivy would have been the one at the start of the season where we sort of would have said, oh, maybe, but it seems like JB is pretty comfortable running him in the starting lineup. So. And as you said, they need that floor spacing out there, so you can't really get rid of Hardaway. As bad a player as he is, you need someone out there at least who can threaten from the perimeter.
And that it also shows having them out there is good because Malik Beasley was on fire the last 3 games. So obviously they can get to him. Toronto, Miami. Wait, did they just play the other day? Am I in my mind? No, maybe. I don't know. Either way, Bruce Brown out. But he's coming back soon. So Bruce Brown is one to be watching. The big cock, Grady Dick, he's still out. Kylie Olynyk, he's out. And I don't want to say it to you, Kingy, but I'm sorry. Emmanuel Quickly is still out, but he's still in Kingy's heart, and hopefully he's coming back soon. Miami, Jimmy Butler's game time. Duncan Robinson's game time. Terry Rozier's game time. Kevin Love game time as well. So Miami almost fully healthy. What are you liking? Are you giving any love to Jacoby Walter? Pretty good game last week.
Look, I don't know. Maybe this Toronto team is just weird. As you said, they've got those injuries. Quickly's been very annoying. Not his fault. But the injuries have been really badly timed. Jacoby Walter, look, I don't know. I mean, he was pretty good in that last game. I think he had a double-double from memory with a couple of defensive stats. It'll bring it up here. What do you got? 28 minutes. Okay, so, but we need to remember that was against the worst Pelicans team in history. So, yeah, a bit of a caveat there. I don't know, someone like Ochai Baji, who I think we sort of said he's probably a drop, and then he just pulls a game out of his ass and has 24 points. And I said, again, on my show that I still think he's a drop, but in a couple of leagues, I just forgot to drop him. And so I held him accidentally. And so you might as well roll him out there tomorrow and just see what he can do. And for the Miami side, yeah, like a lot of probables and that sort of thing going on. Duncan Robinson has been pretty good, sort of vintage-ish. Duncan Robinson, he's been hitting threes. So if you need threes, he's starting and he is getting some shots up. Terry Rozier has been pretty mid. So he's probably someone I'd consider dropping, although we'll see how he goes tomorrow. We know he's better than this. And Jimmy Butler was really bad in that last game too.
Oh, yeah. 2 shots? What are we doing, Jimmy? 2?
I read it because I didn't watch a lot of that game. I just don't like watching a lot of Miami. I just find them really boring. And so I watch highlights of their games and sort of condensed replays and things like that. But I checked that box score and I thought, surely he got injured or something. And I checked, no, he took 2 shots and they were both 3-pointers, I believe.
Yeah. And he hit them both.
What the hell? Like, Jimmy Butler, who never shoots threes. Anyway.
It's honestly, it had me stuffed because they just weren't running plays for him. He just didn't care. That was pretty much that. But as you said before, Abaji, I think for tomorrow especially, the fact that we have a surety that he's starting, he's going to be getting those 33 minutes. If he can bring the defensive stats along with the game that he had like last time, I think he's probably one of the better, more safer pickups just in case that you don't want to go with, someone from the Nets, someone from the Pelicans, even though they have better players. He's a safer option there. OKC, Los Angeles Lakers. OKC, Caruso is out, Deng is out, Holmgren's out, and Jay Will is out. Flagler is a game-time decision. And Lakers, Data Davis is always Data Davis. Connect is now Data Connect. Hayes is out probably. Bronny James is out. Vanderbilt out, Christian Wood out. Are we giving any love to Connect for Dalton Connect? Because I'm telling you, Kingy, if I was this kid, I would be sitting there going, what do you want from me? One day, they're like, oh, my God, how did this guy fall to 17? This is the best guy since Michael Jordan. He's perfect to pair with JJ Redick. Then the next day, he goes 2 for 9, 7 points. What are we doing with this kid? Trade him and D'Lo for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Oh my God! If I see that trade one more time, I'm going to lose my mind.
It must be frustrating, but I think from a fantasy perspective, I think we just roster him if he's going to start.
Okay.
I'd have him over Hachimura. Like if you were tossing up between the two of them, I definitely have Connect. The fact that he moved, like he was starting there because they had some injuries and whatever, he played really well. Hachimura came back and they moved him to the bench. The fact that they moved him back into the starting lineup would tell me that they've realized, hey, we need this guy on the floor. And those games where he did move back to the bench, when his shot wasn't falling, they sort of went away from him a bit, which meant he didn't get as many minutes. I think he had a 19-minute game or something in there.
Yep.
This would tell me that perhaps they're going to just roll with him a bit more. And even if his shot's not falling, they realize, but at least he's a threat. Teams know he's a threat. And so even if his shot's not falling, he's going to space the floor and allow LeBron and AD to go to work inside. So I'm hoping that, yes, this is a really good indicator that Connect is just locked in now for a 30-minute role, which would make him someone we need to add. And as for D'Angelo Russell, I have no idea.
It is so well documented that if you've seen any of my prior content or anything like that, should have dropped D'Lo 4 weeks ago, and I told you so.
Yeah.
OKC, I really like Aaron Wiggins. I think he's really, really good NBA player. He just sticks and glues wherever he does. Obviously, I think that they're going to roll with Isaiah Joe a little bit more in this game, just because he is a bit more of a knockdown shooter. That's just kind of where I'd see J-Dub not on the injury report, even though he left the game against the Warriors the other day. 16 minutes in, and he still went 16, 7, and 6 because that's just how bloody good J-Dub is. Almost all-star. So, and he's not on the injury report, so that's good to see. Are you okay with Wiggins, Joe, or are you just kind of putting them all into that grouping for OKC?
Yeah, it's hard because OKC seem to just roll with a different starter every game. It'll be Joe, then it's Wiggins, then it's Case and Wallace. Yeah. So it's hard to know. I guess of the three of them, maybe it's Isaiah Joe, just because he often will get you at least 2 or 3 threes. He might get nothing else, but he'll get threes. I think all three can have value on their night, but knowing which one it's going to be is really hard. And I think after a pretty good start to the season, I'd throw Lou Dort into that bucket as well as someone that we do not need to roster. But if you catch him on the right night, he's worthwhile. But the right night doesn't happen too often.
That is a flamethrower of Dort picking him on the right night because, that can really bolster you if he goes out and hits 9 threes on a Sunday afternoon. You're sitting on, how has this happened? Also, Case of Wallace, though, what do you have? Like 9, 5, 4, 4, and 3 or something like that the other day against the Warriors. Oh, jeez. You just never know what you're going to get. It's great, isn't it? This is why we love fantasy.
It's annoying. That's all it is. Annoying. Keeps me up at night.
Let's look on the brighter side. Speaking of annoying, though, Kingy, Sacramento versus Portland. Shocking game to end the night. But Jay Crowder back in the NBA. You love to see it. He's now a starter for the Sacramento Kings after last game. DeRozan out. Crawford, Jones are both game time decision. Carter, DeRozan, and Lyles are all out for Portland. Chris Murray, Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams, Klingon, Thibault are all out. Good to see Ayton come back, which is really goddamn annoying because he was game time. I didn't play him because he was playing a later game. And that stuck me with Kyle Kuzma's 8 minutes, 0 for 2 turnovers and 2 rebounds. So that was great. Loved having Ayton on the bench for that crap. What do you like here, Sacramento? Do you like Keon Ellis? Do you like Crowder? Do you like Herter?
I don't like Crowder. Look, yes, it's good to see him back, whatever, but no, I don't like Crowder. I don't know. Herter seems to have just fallen off the radar. He was starting and now he's playing 15 minutes off the bench, so they've probably realised that he's not that good. Which, if that's going to stick, then Malik Monk should be rostered because he was very good in that last game. And it gives Keon Ellis a bit more leeway as well because if he's going to play 26, 27 minutes, that's probably enough for him to be considered if you need steals and threes. And then for Portland, God, who knows? Jeremy Grant might not play again this year.
He's done already. He's
probably had
Jeremy Grant.
Look, this is what he normally does in March. Maybe he's just bringing it forward to December. Just saying, I'm done. So with him out, Denny Avdia, if he's floating around, I would go and add him. No centers. So I guess it's DeAndre Ayton, which, he's rostered everywhere, but it wasn't surprising to see DeAndre Ayton come back when he has no competition for minutes because they can't just go, you're crap, we need to play these other guys because they literally have no other guys. So I think as soon as, Klingon's out for a couple of weeks, I think, but Robert Williams is maybe a game or two. He's in the concussion protocol. I think once he's back, we might see Ayton questionable with some sort of injury. And then once Klingon's back, Ayton will be, no, sorry, guys, I'm too sore. I can't play again. So they're my thoughts on DeAndre Ayton.
It's hard because all three are good like centers and they're all just centers. None of them can shoot or anything like that or space the floor or play next to each other. So you would assume one of Ayton, Williams or Klingon has to go. And at the start of the year, you would say, DeAndre Ayton is the one that's safe. And now you're kind of like, well, Is he?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I
play some
would
defense?
have him. I'd have him third on that list quite comfortably. Not necessarily because of his ability. I mean, he's shown that he can put up numbers,
Yes.
but he doesn't defend. He doesn't
Correct.
attack the basket. And for
Correct.
me, it's more about the fact that he doesn't seem to want to play unless he's playing for a winning team. We saw that in Phoenix when he was drafted by them. His attitude was so negative. He didn't look engaged. But as soon as they got Chris Paul and started winning, he was the best center in the world. Then he got traded, and he just hasn't looked interested at all playing for Portland.
The thing about him too is in Ayton is, mate, you're 7'1". Pretend like you want to get a rebound. Pretend like you want to box out and you want physicality to be able to get the ball. He shies away from it. And
he does. Yeah.
That's what the problem was in Phoenix, that they wanted someone that could rebound to be paired along with Booker and KD. That's why they went and got Yusuf Nurkic, because he can rebound and he likes the physicality. Ayton obviously doesn't. Klingon does. Time Lord does. So, I don't know. It's an interesting concept that I'd love to see, but at least Grant being out means that we don't have to worry about, do we pick up Kamara or do we pick up Avdia? We can get both, which is good. And they're all going to be in that 6-man kind of main rotation. Simons has absolutely been killed in the media to be traded and just to get out of Scoot's way. So see how that goes. I don't think he's been that bad. He's had some bad games, but he hasn't been bad overall in my eyes. So
it
is.
Yeah, and look, it's always hard on a team like this. You're always going to be a team that's losing. They're always going to have to find a reason for you losing. Honestly, it's probably more the coach here, and guys like DeAndre Ayton. Like, I think Simons is doing what Simons does. He's not that good a player. He's just being asked to do too much because
he did so well last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing so much last year, and that's how it is. And also too, if you don't have a center that plays defense and you're trying to funnel all the defensive pressure to a power forward and the small forward, it makes it hard. But
Simons is not a point guard either. Like,
that is very true.
Point guard, and he's not a point guard. So that's why we thought Scoot Henderson would start, because he is a point guard. And maybe that will change. Like maybe they'll shuffle their rotation around and just go small and play Scoot, Simons, and Sharp with, Jeremy Grant if he plays again, but Kamara and Klingon or something. I don't know what they'll do, but this isn't working. Whatever it is,
that is a tiny amount of defense. that is you just there, but they have a lot of changes that they need to obviously make, but. That's how I just still see Simons as that Lou Will type off of the bench. Like, put him on a good team, and he would just be that flamethrower dude. Like, that's how I see him. No defense, straight buckets. I'm sure the Lakers would absolutely love that. He'll probably be in trade talks for D'Lo in the next week and a half. So that's fantastic. But one guy that's never going to be in trade talks is you, Kingy. You're an absolute legend. I very much appreciate you jumping on with me this evening for Frothy Fridays. Tell us, what are we expecting for you this week, my man?
My post-game show, which is most days I'm doing that, and for some reason I've started doing a pre-game show as well. So now doing two shows. I do love it. 2 shows a day. Possibly, I should be back this week with G doing the crossover on Tuesday night our time. And also got a new show potentially with Noah Rubin on Tuesday morning our time, as well as I've got a show with Dan Bespris on Wednesday our time, which will actually be a very cool show. It's a surprise show that he knows nothing about, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Very, very nice. Well, I mean, I'm convinced. I can't wait to watch it. So if you want to keep up with all things Kingy, you already know where he's at. Adam King 91 or FBI Basketball, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. YouTube, obviously. And I've been Skiddy IFS. Thank you very much for joining us on this Friday night. Normally we'll be back to our Saturday morning time slot, I would assume. But hey, it's always nice to have a bit of Frothy's Friday. So take it easy, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoy the NBA Cup action tomorrow. Let's get the NBA back on. And again, happy Thanksgiving to all those in America. Have a great afternoon, evening, morning, whatever. I don't know. See ya.